Now continues.
Welcome back into Fox 18 Sports Sunday. We are right at the beginning of high school hoop season on the boys' side. We're going to get going this weekend on Tuesday and Friday with some basketball action. And we have Joe Winkle, Grant Delstrom, and Ken Jacoby here to talk about it all. And the first game we have up is Tuesday, Moline and Quincy Notre Dame. And Joe, let's get into that. Let's preview this Maroon season.
Well, it's a different year for Moline. They obviously have lost some key players last year. Trey Taylor, Braden Freeman, among others, graduate. Trey was a fantastic player, Braden as well. Both all-conference, all-state caliber guys. One of their top guys would have been returning. He transferred. So it's really Brady Welch, who's their main returning guy, and then it's a whole lot of question marks. This is a very young team. One senior who's a transfer from Pleasant Valley, solid player, could be a good shooter, could be a good contributor for them as a guard. But the main story, as we said, is Brady Welch. He is, in my opinion, one of the best players in the league. Maybe the best pure, I don't even think maybe, he definitely is the best pure scorer in the conference when it comes to this league. But he's with a lot of the rest of this roster. It's going to be a lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores, and even a few freshmen that are going to be chipping in. So for this Moline team, so it's an excitement, but in a different way because a lot of new faces for this Moline program.
You mentioned the youth. What would make it a successful season?
I think for this team, this program has been so consistent under Sean Taylor. There's only been one season they've had outside of the COVID year where they only played 20 games, where they were under 20 wins, and that was they were 16-15 back in 2018 or 2019-2020, and that was the year Brock Harding was a freshman, Kyle Taylor was a sophomore, Ryan Schummel was a junior, and it was a roster that was full of young players, kind of like this one. I mean, you think of the state title team they had. A lot of those guys were playing as freshmen or were super young that were playing as freshmen on that roster. And this is kind of the same thing, and I'm not predicting a state championship later. I'm just obviously saying that this roster is incredibly young, and they've got guys at all levels. So if they can get close to that 20-win mark, I think they're going to be very competitive because they have a player like Brady Welch who's going to be able to lead the pack. This team, they lose a lot and they got a lot of inexperience, but they still have a lot of talent and a lot of good players.
Grant, let's over to you. UT starting off in that Galesburg tournament as well. What can you expect from Coach Say and the boys this year?
Well, United Township's the complete opposite of Moline. They're very experienced. They're returning 4 or 5 starters. They only had 2 seniors graduate, so a lot of experience coming back. You think inside Octavius Hickman, he's a guy that's gotten better every single season, and now this is going to be his 3rd year getting consistent varsity reps. Other guys, the Massey brothers, Jordan and Josiah Massey, the 2 shooting stars that know how to shoot the basketball, drive downhill, get to the rim and score. And then it's these also veteran leaders in Tyler Horvath, Tucker Speckman, among other guys that are going to fill in throughout the season. They're deep, they're experienced, and Andy Say's shown that he's been able to win in the Western Big Six over these couple of years, and I think they'll be able to compete as well as any other team in the conference.
What are some players to watch? You mentioned a couple names, but what are some real names that we should be watching for the Panthers?
Well, obviously Hickman, because he's an all-around scorer. They'll get it to him consistently inside, as we've seen him do the last couple of seasons, but he can also attempt some outside shots. He's been able to hit those as well. Tyler Horvath managing the point guard position. He's an elite passer, and although his scoring totals haven't been as sky high as some other guys, he sets up others to score. Josiah Massey can be a lights-out shooter. So it's a lot of those guys I named. I assume those 5 that I named will be the starting 5, and I think Andy Say and this UT team is going to be one of the best they've had in quite some time, and they have a chance to do some special things.
That's exactly what Rock Island did last year, Ken. Just amazing team last year, returning a lot of players as well. How high are the expectations this year for the Rocks?
Limitless,
yeah.
Really. They will be state rated when the polls start coming out. There's no question about that, and they should be. They have 3 returning starters from a team that won the regional and just had a really excellent season last year under Coach Polite. They potentially, this is what I've been saying, they potentially are better at all 5 positions than last season, which is, when do you ever see that?
Yeah.
3 returning starters. Obviously, as players mature, they have a tendency to improve their games. And then 2 guys that came in, and they're all wearing, I've got the new roster, all the starters are wearing numbers 1 through 5. So it's like the 27 Yankees, right? There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And number 1 is Arthur Abbey. He's a 5'9" junior guard. It's a kind of a painful subject for the Moline folks because he transferred from Moline to Rock Island, and he can score. He can dunk the basketball at 5'9". He can do just about anything on the floor. Avion Thomas, number 2. He's a returning starter, a senior. Probably one of the smartest players you're going to see. Very, very, very good decision maker on the floor and helps facilitate and can score as well. Lawson Zulu, senior guard, just the everything point guard, and he can throw up shots where it just all of a sudden it's out of his hand. You don't even realize he's shooting. You know, he's that good that he's very, very difficult to guard. Devin Marshall is a guy who can shoot and shoot and shoot the basketball. And go 6'2", and then Eris Morgan going to be a real key. He's a true big. He's a 6'8" senior, a transfer from Riverdale. Very athletic, can do a lot of things on the floor. Rocky likes to keep things moving, right? And he's going to be able to be a big part of that, literally and figuratively. So when you look at this team as a whole, they're excellent last season. 3 returning starters, 2 real top-notch guys that came in as transfers. Plus, they're going to have a deeper bench. They only went 6 deep last year. They're going to be able to go probably 8 deep comfortably on this year's squad. So, I mean, things are looking very bright. A lot of people, they had their scrimmage Friday night. People are very excited. There's a big crowd there to see a scrimmage for Rocky. It's like a game-sized crowd. So there's going to be a lot of hype and a lot of excitement around this team, and they're going to be looked at statewide.
1 through 5 will be easy for highlights, so we'll know who's who for what number. And I know Coach Polite was talking about how many great teams are playing in these non-conference tournaments. What's a game that you're looking out for? We'll go down the line too. Just one game to watch for this non-conference part of the season.
Oh gosh, and you caught me a little bit short. I haven't studied the schedule very much, but when you look at I know they play some tough games. I remember Coach Polite was talking at the preseason banquet how they definitely have scheduled up, and they want to have some tough matchups. That's something Sean Taylor at Moline has always done it, and he had an absolutely insane schedule the year they won the state championship because he wanted them to be prepared. In the same vein, Mark Polite has scheduled up. State Farm Classic is probably something to look forward to in particular because that is always extremely competitive. There's a lot of good teams that go there, and Rocky will be no doubt a high seed when they go to Bloomington Normal right after Christmas, and that should be very interesting to see them knock heads with some of the top teams in the state.
Great.
Well, we're lucky around here. You don't really have to go very far to find good competition, and it's not going to take long for UT to get tested. They'll play some good teams later this week at the the Thanksgiving tournament down in Galesburg, and then even throughout conference play. These Rockies, these Molines, these Quincy's, every night in the conference is a test, and every game can be a battle. So there's some non-conference games that stand out, but every game is equal toughness, and UT I think is going to be ready for the task. But plenty of games out there that'll be intriguing.
I would say to help Ken out a little bit, one of the games in like the future for Rock Island will be they play Chaminade, who's one of the top teams down in the St. Louis area in Missouri.
Jason Tatum's alma mater, yeah.
That is correct.
From the
they got some pretty that's a name drop school, that's for sure. So that'll be fun later in the year. For Moline, like Grant said, really, I mean the conference obviously. Same as a test for Rocky. The holiday tournament Moline will be at in Pekin. It's a loaded field. One of the better, one of the 3 to 5 best high-class tournament fields in the state of Illinois, in my opinion. Mount Carmel's been there. They've won the thing before last year. They won it 3 years, I think, in a row before last season. They're returning some guys. They got some new faces. They're a good team in 3A. Morton is a solid team down in the Peoria area. They're always tough. Simeon is a team that has come from that is going to that field this year for the first time. So that should be a fun tournament as always. Moline, I believe, will play Metamora this year at their Martin Luther King weekend shootout. So a lot of excitement for this for the non-conference slate as always, and just the way that these teams always find ways to branch out to play tough schedules. I think that's the beauty of the teams we cover on QC SportsNet is none of these coaches are afraid. These teams want to be tested. There's a lot of talent in this league, not just for what we cover, but not the teams that we cover, but the teams that we see. So a lot of excitement for basketball season.
Nick, I just wanted to mention, I wore the winter hat on purpose because we're going to be there all winter covering these 3 teams, and we'll have previews and recaps and the whole bit, just like football. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You heard it from Ken. We'll start doing those recaps and previews all season long, but for now, we'll just get you excited for what's coming up this upcoming week with the Thanksgiving games, and have a fun basketball season, and we'll be back with more of the show after this.